Hi, it's me again. Did you see my video on old theories? Don't worry, the little guy is not gone. I'm just here for the first half so the animation doesn't take forever. After making that video, I got a few comments that directly and immediately inspired me to make this video. So thank you, Varohash and Combustible Lemon, for being
directly and solely responsible for what you are about to see.
If the opening and my hoodie weren't clear enough, the living Tombstone has been a part of my life for a very long time. For an entire semester, the only thing I listened to was 01 on repeat. So, safe to say,
where is Rustio of? I've been waiting patiently, and I will keep waiting, because I want it to be good, and I hope that the entire process goes smoothly and stress-free for you.
The band is forever tied to the FNaF franchise, even to such a point that back in the day, people used to think that the music videos were telling canon lore, which obviously they weren't. It was just absolutely god-tier music by a brilliant musician. But what if they were? And that's what we're going to be solving today. It won't solve FNaF or anything, but this thought experiment will give you a peek into a world of what-ifs, and definitely a new interpretation of the storytelling in Tombstone's FNaF songs. First, we're going to break down our evidence, and then we're going to stitch together into a beautiful, wholesome... Wait a minute, how's this song, right? A terribly dark and depressing retelling of the FNaF lore as told by the living Tombstone. August 31st, 2014. Magical day. Historical, even. It had been less than a month since FNaF 1 released, when our ears were blessed. Is it clear I'm The song was a cool exploration of the victim's perspective, something most songs hadn't done at that point, most of them just doing the perspective of the night guard. Everybody still listening to Stay Calm say, holla! Holla! Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And is thought to have partially inspired the way that the animatronics are portrayed in the movie. So, we take it as presented. What details can we nick from the original banger? Let me just dramatically get the notes. Well, we're forced to be still and play is using present tense. So Fazbear's from FNaF 1 is very much open and running despite the missing children's incident. Speaking of which, stuck in our little zone since 1987 is direct confirmation that this world's NCI happened in 1987. An imposter took our life away. Confirms to us that the killer did lie to the children just like in the original lore. Semsuck also used some kind of suit. We are poor little souls who have lost all control is suggesting that they might be more similar to their silver-screened counterparts where they are more conscious and struggling for control. Join us, be our friend. Also supports the whole more like in the movie, you know, they're looking for a friend, they're looking for some company. You seem acquainted with those doors. Also shows us that they recognize the night guard, so it's safe to assume that we're dealing with some kind of Michael Afton or some other character that looks like the imposter, which they saw. We're really quite surprised we get to see you another night. I think I said that in the wrong key. Supports that this night guard might have strong motives or some great reason to keep on returning. Newcomers to play with us. Tells us that the employees aren't really, let's say, consistent. Yeah, consistent. I think consistent's the right word for this. Okay, that's FNaF 1 covered, and this spooky, scary forest is kind of giving me the creeps. So, like, let's get out of here. Oh ho ho! The man behind the... These are just squats. the dance is just squats. This song and accompanying music video was something. From the more recent Slaughter memes to all the way back to the mother is the puppet theory. And again, the Living Tombstone explores a rarely used perspective, in this case, the ripple effects the MCI had outside of Fazbear's, this song about the mother of one of the victims. And the vispenningar are, the mother let the child wander off. A mistake, I assume, but that phone call could not have been that important.
We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
Okay, maybe it was. She obviously wants some sort of justice for what happened, but what kind of justice she's struggling with. Won't be long before I become a puppet. Wow, what this line did to the community back in the day. Wanna see us do it again? She might be a singer of some sorts, after all she sings this stupid song, but then again, who doesn't? I just did. It's a good song, man. It's a really good song. You sing it. I assume you sing it. I sing it. You sing it, right? Fucking sing it every chance I get. At the time that this story takes place, she clearly isn't willing to take a life, but she is having some kind of inner turmoil about it. So maybe if she's pushed hard enough? But this time it's not just the music, but also the music video, which we can get clues from. The first being, she is holding a Golden Freddy / Fredbear plushie. So what, you might say? So what, she's repping our bling bling Goldilocks? What the fuck am I saying? I'll tell you what. Later in the video, we find out that the Golden Freddy of this location has been retired and stored in the safe room. So, this location doesn't use the image of Golden Freddy or Fredbear, so isn't selling that merch most likely, meaning that this might be merchandise from a previous location. Fredbears, maybe? We see her visibly searching for her child, which is understandable. It's not like she lost a quarter. It's like she lost two. We see in the video that the killer didn't use a Spring Bonnie suit, but rather a Freddy suit, which either means that this world has more Springlock animatronics, or this is one of those non-lethal suits, you know, for wussies. In this world, we don't have to worry about who's possessing Golden Freddy. I mean, is it the bite victim? Is it Andrew? Is it Cassidy? Fuck, is it Ness? I don't know. Nah, but we know. It's the blue shirt kid. No, the other blue shirt kid. No, the bright blue shirt kid. Thank you. It's that kid. That's Golden Freddy right there. He says it. He says it right in the video. That should be it. Well, that's on to the next song. My head's feeling a little funny. Remember when I said you'd get a new perspective on the storytelling of these songs? Oh yeah, that's in this one. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's so cold. Submit to the cold. You can do it.
I'm not shivering because I'm cold. My servers are locking up.
This song was sung by one Eileen Montgomery. Oh, it's so cold. Fuck you guys, I'm wearing gloves. Costume inconsistency, my ass. It's that or lose a digit. Oh, Jesus. Fuck, it's cold! The vocalist for this song is one Eileen Montgomery, who is absolutely a beautiful singer. Have you heard the Magic Flicker? Oh, what a banger! Eileen also made an acoustic version of Die in a Fire, which I've linked in the description, and go do yourself a favor, go to the description, open the link in a new tab, save it, and then when we're done here, listen to it, because it's so beautiful. Oh my god, is it good. Before we go over the evidence, there is a certain change we're going to have to make to how we're going to be reading this song. Most people, including me until recently, have always understood this song to be from the perspective of William towards the children. But someone suggested, what if this is still the mother singing, and she's singing at William? I know, maybe I've lost some of you here, but take a gander. Hatred is the correct response to someone taking away your child. It's something that disturbs her in the daily life. getting in her way. Old Billy Boy has been coming back to the location repeatedly to bust the animatronics, and if he shall come back one more time, it shall be painful, he'll see. The chorus is clearly just a very emotional outburst aimed at a very, very horrible man. What the fuck are you doing in robes? Now this is where the new perspective gets properly tested. Personally, I think it holds, because if she had something to do with the spring locking incident with the spirits, and also the fire, she could be referring to those two separate deaths. And who knows, maybe that scene was a little bit more aggressive in this version of the lore. As for the visual evidence, the most interesting thing would be these writings. Now, see, these phrases aren't normally seen in FNaF media. These are phrases like, not you, no truth, don't lie. Someone on the spirit side of things is definitely having one hell of an argument. Or breakdown. Could just be a mental breakdown. I mean, I'd fucking lose my shit if I was stuck in a...
If I was stuck every day singing the same old songs they do every day, I'd also be a little cranky at night.
Well, that's FNaF 3. Now all we have left is FNaF 4, Sister Location, and Security Breach before we can put together a full time.
Wait. This isn't my room. Where am I? Iceland? One second. Alright, so where are we? Oh man, let's get this done quick. Don't want my pinkers imploding on me again. Alright, so FNaF 4's song by the living Tombstone called I Got No Time is a rather simple one and honestly one that seems quite disconnected from the overall story. So let's get into what this song has in store for us. And no, I will not be singing the lyrics. Just because I was in choir doesn't mean I can sing. I just let the kid next to me sing while I just tried to sing. So obviously the person singing this is the crying child, and he is describing his time during FNaF 4 and everything that led him up to being here. So let's start from the very beginning and go from there. In this song, it's very evident that FNaF 4 takes place in some hellscape after the crying child died due to the bite of 83. The lines that tell us this are, I can't say goodbye, showing that even if he wanted to, there's something stopping him from doing so. My friends who they used to be beside me before they left me to die, which literally is crying child remembering his friends being next to him then leaving him as he passed away. Lastly, I got this headache, which let's be honest, we know what this is referencing. The Chomp of 83. So obviously crying child is dead and FNaF 4 is a hellscape for him. Crying child also hates the memories that he has with the line, and I'm regretting having memories, which shows that obviously whatever happened was something crying child wishes he could forget but just can't. Most likely the bite of 83 and his brother Michael tormenting him. A way to help confirm this is the line that says, I'm getting sick from these apologies from people with priorities that their life matters so much more than mine. Showing that when the crying child was alive, he could have been neglected, and during his death everyone was apologizing and he is sick of hearing those apologies. Now here's the true bombshell for this. Crying child in this universe could very well be the vengeful spirit, with the two lines combined of I have this urge to kill, showing that the crying child could want revenge, and secondly, want to go back to when it all began, showing that he wants to go back to change his fate and possibly other fates as well. Alrighty, well now that I got this done, let's get out of here. Now, where do I want to go? I think the right door is the safest one, right? Ah, son of a... Alright, well, now that I'm out of that house and in the elevator that I think leads to my room, let's talk about FNaF's Dislocation song, I Can't Fix You. So, this song doesn't really differ much from the normal lore of FNaF. However, it does show us the relationship between Circus Baby and William Afton, as well as a line from Michael that is setting the custom night, though we will get to that explanation when we get there. Alright, so let's get into this. The song I Can't Fix You is essentially about Circus Baby trying to tell her father William Afton that even though she tries her best, she cannot fix him. Odds are this fixing would just be him being absolutely insane. Basically, Daddy Issues the musical. A line that shows us this is, I've been trying for so long to sing you the right song, which shows that Circus Baby, aka Elizabeth Afton, has been trying to communicate to William in the right way, but no matter what direction she chooses to approach, it just doesn't work with him. However, who she is talking to is Michael Afton, who is being mistaken for William Afton during the events of Cislocation. Baby questions why she isn't respected or cared for by William by asking things such as, is it because I can't be her? It also confronts him by saying things such as, major mistakes have made me hurt, I can't fix you. This conversation goes on like this for longer than the runtime of Vanny on screen and Security Breach. She essentially says that she refuses to be like her father and questions how someone can fall so low, with lines such as, mistakes I've been making, showing that she is slowly becoming her father. This isn't how I'll let it end, which shows that she refuses to be like her father, and how can a human lose their self-control, showing that she can't consider herself to be a monster, or questions how William could let himself fall this low. Baby then acknowledges the similarities between herself and William with the line, it's like we're the same person, me and you. Now we get past the conversation and actually get into the action, because who watches a video for dialogue? Wait, you are. You're watching a theory video. It's nothing but dialogue. Is this what I've been doing for the past year? Anyways, I believe that this song takes place in the scoop room in which Ennard is talking to Michael, as during the song the animatronics are ripping themselves apart, and at the very end you can see Ennard scooping Michael with a knife. Michael being purple in this instant due to them seeing Michael as William, which goes back to that line Michael says in the custom knife sister location, they thought I was you. We also know this is Michael due to him wearing a security outfit, which could just be the outfit for the bunker, or it could be that Michael is going through this location during or shortly after working at a FNaF location, maybe FNaF 1, putting this either during or right after FNaF 1. Now, there's one thing I want to mention that probably isn't true, but I think is still cool to point out. Throughout this song, fire in Funtime Freddy is prevalent a lot, especially with Funtime Freddy acting as like the melting pot to form Ennard, which if you think about it, fire, Funtime Freddy, Ennard, could be Molten Freddy, though at the time this song came out in 2016 and Pizza Sim didn't come out till 2017. Alright, well, the elevator is about to stop, so I'm going to start making my way to my room. See y'all in a second. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Not again! Psst. Hey, Fred, can I hide in your stomach hatch for a little bit? Maybe you can walk me towards the entrance while I'm hiding.
Oh, I would love to.
Alright, let me just... Alright, so this song titled This Comes From the Inside has a lot of information, is essentially a culmination of all the songs into one. So we're going to cover first the Glamrock animatronic side, then we'll get into the juicy stuff in a second. So the Glamrock sing the first part of this song, and they seem to just blame Gregory for everything possible. Notice how it's not Vanny's fault, because she only appears in 3 scenes, which is about the same amount of times you can see this bunny lady in game actually doing anything of substance. Yes, I'm still angry about it, and no, I'm not going to stop making fun of it. Anyways, the line that shows us this is, when we share so much wisdom, you set fire to the kingdom, burn it all until it melts. Now, a lot of the song also seems to be the living Tombstone confronting the community with trying so hard to solve FNaF that they've burned down the fun of it, which honestly reminds me of a certain video I made not too long ago that you should definitely check out after this. Anyways, you can see that theme of it seeming like the living Tombstone is confronting the community while also telling a FNaF story, though we'll just stick to the FNaF story side of things for now. In the song, we eventually get to a point where Gregory seems to have been knocked out or possessed, and in this state, now, get ready for this list. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mangle, and the Marionette, giving us 11 spirits in total, and you'll see why that's important in a moment. During this, it seems that Golden Freddy is in control of the others except for the Marionette, which is interesting considering Golden Freddy and the Marionette are related with, again, Golden Freddy being the child of the Marionette, who is the mother from before, because resting spirits mean no content. So if anything, this scene here shows us Ultimate Custom Night. Since all the animatronics under the control of Golden Freddy have their eyes blacked out, the only ones that don't have this effect is of course Golden Freddy and the Marionette, which makes sense, since the Marionette in Ultimate Custom Night seems to be in control of itself, with lines such as the others are like animals, but I am very aware. Which could also mean that even though the others are in control, they're like animals, essentially having their rage pointed at a target instead of the overall issue, with Golden Freddy being the one holding the leash. So during this, it seems that the spirits are actually talking to Michael, Gregory, and the mother of all characters. This is really how they're angry at all of them for many reasons. Some of these lines that show this are, and your reason to justify scars you can't quantify lock us inside a vault. which shows how their angry Michael tried to justify the scars he never understood, and while helping, in a way, locked them in a vault by keeping it a secret from the public. For the mother, this would be to represent how her help essentially made it worse and kept it all a secret from them for so many years. The next lines of, "Now this is your fault, everything is a problem, there was a poison in the air, despair is an eternal blight," which this can be towards both Michael and Gregory. For Michael, due to him trying to help with really everything, and it became a worse problem, and Michael was the poison in said air. With despair as an eternal blight, essentially meaning that even though Michael tried to set everyone free, it's now impossible for them to move on. And for the mother, it's her help that caused it for them to never be able to move on. Next line, "You're losing it all, you've been blighted by stardom," is Gregory. The mother and possibly Michael being spoken to here, with them essentially being told they're out of their depth and now they have attention for their actions. Though the spirits seem to want to show mercy by saying, "We are waiting for you every night," which could show mercy to Gregory and a line for Michael, and the mother saying how every night they waited for him to set them free, but it never came. Lastly, the line, "You're mine," essentially means that they want to show Gregory the purgatory that William is in. Now, throughout this, the marionette doesn't take part in this, rather is in the background watching, which shows even more so how the others are like animals, but she herself is very aware. Now, at the end of the song, we meet the blob. Now, in the scene, we see Gregory look at his watch, which has 12 dots indicating 12 possible spirits. The 12th one being a huge one in the center and 11 smaller ones outside of it. These 11 spirits would, again, be another list, and this now 5 lists at Freddy's. The game better than 5 laps at Freddy's. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mango, Marionette, Circus Baby, and then the mysterious 12th big spirit. Now we actually have no idea who it could be. Currently, we think it could either be William, Michael, Henry, Pure Agony, Dark Remnant, something else. We don't know. So let us know your theories on that one in the comments. However, we know that by the end of this encounter, everything is burned to the ground from that line in the beginning. Alright, now that that's done, hey Freddy, we at the entrance yet?
You made it.
Alright, sweet. Well, I'll see you later, Freddy. Oh, there isn't something trying to kill me the second I think I'm gonna leave. Sweet!
I found him!
Ugh, I've had enough of this.
A few moments later.
Whew. So now with all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's get into the timeline. We start in 1983. A horrific accident occurred where a boy got this headache and passed away at the local Fredbear's, leaving him in a purgatory, reliving his demise over and over. This Fredbear's is also likely to be the location where the mother and son duo, we'll call them Henrietta and Charles from now on, wink wink, bought the Fredbear plushie we see in the FNaF 2 music video. Whether they were there during the incident or not could be narratively comfortable, but it's a baseless assumption as it stands. 4 years pass. Now, near the new location, Fazbear's, Henrietta gets distracted at the phone booth, allowing Charles to wander off into Fazbear's, where he and 4 other children are turned into ketchup puddles. Henrietta goes searching for her boy, notifying the police and generally looking into things, asking around, investigating the case. The killer, William, finds out about her snooping, but thankfully, he's no Scooby-Doo villain. He knows how to take care of meddling adults. Once puppetified, Henrietta finds the bodies and uses epic critical thinking to deduce that she can resurrect the children using the animatronics, just like she has been resurrected. She does the deed on all of them except her own son, either because she wanted to make sure it worked before doing it to him, or because she didn't do basic maths. Either way, she decides not to burden him with the act of defying God. However, the Freddy spirit brings Charles into the back room, where they keep one mint-condition Golden Freddy, and it's implied he then possesses him. Possesses, your razzmatazz. Alright. An unspecified amount of time later, Mikey Boy starts work at the FNaF 1 location. Nothing of note really happens besides hallucinations and hostile, or at least seemingly hostile, robots that think they recognize him. I think I saw that guy on TV. I don't think so, Bunny. I'm the Flintstone. They think he's their killer, as Michael Afton is a complete square. We're running on the idea that Michael and William are blood related, and that's why everybody's getting them confused. Michael gets fired for, tampering with the animatronics. Thankfully, there's a job perfect for him in Afton Robotics, which he goes to next. He's probably the only one with professional experience with haunted animatronics, but these ones are firmer in recognizing him as Big Willie. One of them even starts bad guy monologuing about her daddy issues, and it ends with the... Could you imagine how heartbreaking that monologue would be to Michael if he remembered his sister? Being raised by the same uncaring asshat and hearing someone so desperately want his love and approval? And then killing you? Back over at the FNaF 1 location, the killer has caught wind of the goings-on, and, for some reason, has decided it's time to put a stop to them. He heads to the place and starts wrecking them. Henrietta, the puppet, sees this, and gets the idea that maybe if the killer is brought to justice, they can be freed. So she talks them into helping her fight back, and so they do. Together. Once the spring is trapped and dying, the spirits remain stuck. Golden Freddy begins to question his mother, and an argument ensues, leading to the writings on the walls. She decides to fix this by killing William. Again. But this time with man's greatest invention, fire. So they burn the place, and still, no one seems to be getting the one-way ticket out of the material plane. Except maybe the man burning in a fursuit. This is unacceptable. And so, Golden Freddy uses all his mystical, magical anime girl powers to ensnare William with them forever. Beginning UCN. Several years, even decades later, the Pizzaplex opens to the public, and Gregory and Glamrock Freddy are dealing with some rogue animatronics and a spooky bunny lady, which is, well, spooky. In trying to uncover their problems, they come across the remains of what this world equivalent of Pizza Sim was. The location existed, and it burned down for sure, but how that all happened is definitely up in the air if we're going for song lore alone. But what we do know is that both Ennard and the MCI ended up there along with Golden Freddy and the puppet. They are all ferociously haunting the area, screaming about those who have wronged them and lashing out wildly. But after being consumed by their lust for punishment and the inability to move on, they all lie in a pile as an amalgamation of suffering and torture, punishing the one responsible for their suffering. Which is probably why William's radar dot is so huge, all the agony he's going through, if this is William. If you have a better idea on who this 12th spirit is, feel free to discuss it in the comments. In essence, the Living Tombstone FNaF lore is a story about a mother and a son who were torn apart and brought back together again in a way they never asked for. Their conflict leading them down a path of a never-ending quest for vengeance, sitting atop a hill of death, prisoners to agony. Also a separate story about a boy who was just sent to hell, but that's not as interesting.
Finally, my room! Alright, well, here's my final thoughts before I disappear into the endless void that is FNaF lore. I honestly love this video, and it's also one of my more edited ones after receiving help from Albert on how PC editing even works. We sat in a call for so long about what everything could mean and where we could go with it, as well as showing off my humor for the first time. I'd give this The Living Tombstone song timeline a solid 9 out of 10 just because of the fun and work put into this. I love how everything flows together from it's been so long all the way to this comes from the inside, with reoccurring characters popping up in almost every single song in some aspect while explaining motives and feelings. Also, in case any of you are wondering, I actually knew Albert a long time ago because Albert made my first ever fan art. So seriously, if you can hit that like, subscribe button to show some love, that would mean so much to Albert and me. Comment down below your thoughts, really anything in the whole wide world. Just remember to keep it kind, calm, respectful, and that's just a theory. Now without further ado, have a great day, stay safe, and back to you, Albert. Wait, the void is real? Wait, no, don't give it back! Don't give it back!
Thank you, Raven.
Ruler of the Xander Zone.
Some of you may have been screaming at the screen,
You forgot to join us for a Bite remix, and Stuck Inside.
and to you I say, remix means it's not their lyrics, and Stuck Inside is based on the movie, not the games. It's also hosted on Black Griffin's channel, so there's that technicality. Crafting this theory was a good back and forth discussion, and I'm very happy with where we've ended up. Of course, it's been a little tough to decide when to use clues from the games to fill in the gaps, because too much of it would almost entirely bring us back to established lore, and not using it at all leads to a lack of information, creating far too much speculation. If I had to pick two things that I really like about it, it would be that the concept of UCN appears twice. Dave, crying child, bite victim, whatever, is in a state of purgatory, dying over and over, just like how William ends up in the exact same situation because of ghost revenge. I like that because it feels like FNaF 4 is establishing such a purgatory in its world building. The second thing is Michael dies. I don't like it because it's Michael specifically, but because I feel there needs to be more actual dying. Like character gone deaths in FNaF. Like, we thought we got it in FNaF 3, we were sure we got it in Pizza Sim, and then the same anskotan stjöplar are right there in Security Breach. Like, if the next game to come out that takes place post-Pizzaplex brings back Michael, then nobody has actually passed on to the afterlife since Ralph. Like, dude, don't be a wussy and unplug these children. Anakin can do it, and he's like a goofy wizard Springtrap. I hope this video tickled your fancy. If it didn't, that's also fine. Just be sure to let your voice be heard through the likes, dislikes, and comments below. There's more to come, so I hope you stick around by subscribing. I respond to most comments, so feel free to send in anything at all. And a big thanks to Nara Raven for helping out a bunch with this video. Without him, I'd still be writing an off-the-walls living Tombstone FNaF fanfic with, like, domestic scenes of William and Michael just barely tolerating each other, and dramatic mortal combat between the mother and William during Follow Me. It would never have gotten finished if I went down that route. So, please pay your respects and check out his channel. It's got some really nice stuff on it. Thanks for watching, and remember, tomorrow is another day.